Oh, hey, pull on up to our harbor. Put that boat on the hook. Come hang out with us.
We're going to start over. Ready? Hello there. Welcome to the Open Water Podcast.
You're back. I'm back. He's back. Let's get started.
We're all back. My mug's extra big today, so let's jump in. All right.
Easter.
What a great weekend.
That was a good one. How was your Easter?
It was good. We did the whole egg thing. I know you have hot opinions about eggs, but what I did.
Can you
growing
explain
up,
to everyone what you
I'd
do?
love to. We grew up painting eggs on Good Friday, and then you put them in the fridge, and then on Easter Sunday you'd hide real eggs. They'd only be exposed to the elements for like 15 minutes, and you go find eggs, and then you have a basket full of candy and trinkets. I don't know, whatever.
All right, children.
Okay.
We need to make egg salad, and the ingredients are out in the yard.
It's awesome.
Now go. The bunny wants you to find them.
You know, there's something deeply satisfying about being a hunter and a gatherer in the same effort. And
Sure.
So, yeah.
Primal.
You wouldn't understand. You just did plastic eggs.
Am I wrong, guys? This is disturbing.
It's fine. Well, this
No one
year,
who hides
anyways,
real eggs.
Anyways, this year my wife hid plastic. Oh, I hid them. She prepared them. We hid the plastic eggs. I just feel like it's really weird to like paint eggs.
Money or chocolate?
So we did candy and like some toys, and then we let them pick out a restaurant to go to lunch to, which they chose, of course, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, good.
We got big man frisbee golf set, like a little kid one, which is he actually got a fanny pack and he carries his discs in his fanny pack.
Very
So
good.
It's a great thing. So, yeah, how was your Easter?
Good Easter. It's great. Good food.
Yeah,
Good celebration.
it.
Church was fantastic.
absolutely. It was great. It's like a big family reunion is what it feels like.
Yeah,
I love it. Everyone comes
Well
together.
said.
Everyone's well dressed. It's a great time. All right.
it was good energy.
It was awesome. It was an awesome Sunday celebrating Jesus. All right. Let's jump into our favorite things.
Let's hop into it.
Hop into it, as they say, this resurrection week. All right. What do you got?
My favorite thing this week would have to be Easter. Church was fantastic. Again, we probably had nearly 600 people through the building. The final count is still TBD.
Yeah.
But
We had record attendance in kids. A lot of people. There were people sitting on the stairs, which was wild. There was people literally getting every chair we had available and bringing it into the
which was
worship center,
awesome.
Which was awesome.
kind of a drop ball on our part.
No, not at all. How do you guess? How do you guess that?
You don't.
And so it was a really cool thing. Yeah, I don't know. It was just cool hearing people sing. Like that part in particular stuck out in my mind of just like,
oh yeah, that many people in the room
oh, it was loud. It was awesome.
on top of a choir.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing this week was going to the beach.
Ooh.
I love the beach. I really do. It's a great place.
Let's get down to it. What do you love about the beach exactly?
It's one of the very few spaces where I feel like my mind doesn't drift onto other things. I can only name like a handful of places where like my mind isn't preoccupied with like work or like things I got to do at home. And something about the beach, I think you like look out and like see the waves and like see how big it is, and you're like, it's gonna be okay. Like God's got it under control. He knew what he was doing when he created all this. He's got it. I'm good.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love getting in the water. Kids love the water. They love building sand stuff, and it's a good time.
Is the water officially warm enough, would you say?
Is it what?
Water was warm enough. We're ready for surfing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I do have a very serious question to ask our viewers. What is cooler, boogie boarding or body surfing?
Ooh. Yeah, help settle a staff debate. We're falling apart behind the scenes because of this.
I know we asked you to comment on a lot of things, but this is like the only thing I've actually, I like, please comment, because I have a theory that body surfing is just you floating with motion, and boogie boarding is cooler. It's a cooler thing. It's a much better thing.
Some would say, though, like, do the tools maketh the man? Or, should the art speak for itself?
There's no art in body surfing. You literally just like it's ridiculous. All right, those are our favorite things. Let us know your favorite thing. Easter was
Seriously, we need your help to solve this one.
Figure out the boogie boarding body surfing.
This is a big deal.
All right.
We have some questions that have come in. Thank you for sending those questions.
Q's and A's.
Even though some come in anonymously, like this one. First question. Why the mustache? Simple first question.
All right. So the answer is Brent and I are coaching soccer, and most of the coaches I had growing up, the greatest coaches of all time, in fact.
History, just regardless of the
Yeah,
sport.
the greatest soccer coach, Mr. Lasso, the greatest football coach, Mike Ditka, they all sported mustaches.
Yep.
And so we thought for picture day for our soccer team, we would do mustaches.
Yeah.
Pause. I did not think about Easter at all when we said we should do it because it was like literally the night before. It's like, we should do mustaches for soccer photos. We're like, yeah. But if I shave my face, I look like I'm 11. You look great.
It was a great idea at the time.
I still think it's a great idea. My face feels liberated, to be honest. So
Kind of look like
I'm sticking with it.
cops on the LA highway or
That's
something.
it. So that is why I have a mustache. Thank you for your
Concern.
question or concern. Either one. All right, April asked a great question.
Thank you, April.
Have you ever thought of writing a book, and what would it be about?
Everyone's thought about writing a book. What would yours be about?
I have two. I've outlined a couple. I just like don't have time. Like it's like someone asked me, I was like, "Will you ever write a book?" And I was like, if I had a season of like not like doing the busyness of life right now, if I had like a summer, I'd write a book. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I'd need 3 months to like flush. I have like outlines of books, but I have like a fiction one that is like not that turned into like just this like idea that began like kind of just turning into other things. And I was like, this could be interesting, but that will never leave my computer. And it's about a space thing. And then I have this idea, we've talked about it, called the Great Hibernation, which goes back to really the idea in Genesis where people, like when Adam and Eve first sinned, their first response was to hide. And I think a lot of people live in hiding, live in this perpetual state of like, the reason hibernation is like, it's like we choose to stay asleep. Where Ephesians says like, "Ooh, awake, O sleeper," you know, and this idea that like I think a lot of people are living asleep, and not in like a political way. I think there's like language around it that is like, whoa. Like it's like no, they're like people who are just like choose to you know stay so busy they can't actually realize what's important around them. And people who just live in a bubble and don't actually get to like participate in the active work.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. So
It'll take a while to write.
I have
Maybe
like
more than 3 months.
yeah, I have like a framework for it, and it would take a lot of time and energy, which I write, you know, pages and pages and pages every single week.
True.
So to like do that plus that just is not in the cards.
No, not yet.
No. So
Put it on the shelf though. It's a good idea.
yeah, if you'd write one book, what would it be?
I also have two ideas.
Yeah.
First is a little more heavy. I'd say I like this idea of like, what if when you die, you can't take anything with you? So like all of the wealth that you've built up, property that you've owned, anything that you own goes into like a sovereign wealth fund, like back into the like how would you live your life if like you couldn't leave any of it behind?
Oh, if like your kids or whatever, like
Yeah.
got it. I get what you're saying.
So yeah, you can't leave any of it. You can't leave anything behind.
Yeah, I love that. What's your other one?
That'd be an interesting concept. My other one, I'd make a poetry book called "Don't Chew Chocolate."
Yeah,
It's poetry and light wisdom.
Brennan does. He does write poetry. If you didn't know, I do. I've read it some. It's really good.
Good luck finding it.
It's out there. I'll send you the link. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, those are April. Thank you for your question. It's a great question. If you could write a book, what would you write?
Yeah, great question, April. Thank you.
All right, here we go. Sunday segment. We talked a little bit about it, but this past week was Easter.
Yeah, we could talk about this forever.
Good
There's
Easter.
so much that went down. It's Easter, man.
Good Friday.
Yeah.
It was great. I would love to know your thoughts about Good Friday. I know our leadership team we take Good Friday really seriously. We prayed about it quite a bit. And last year we did a Seder meal that focused around Jesus kind of taking the old covenant and the Passover moment, and then kind of welcoming in the new covenant only in like moments later. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, we were in the throes of Exodus.
yeah, we were in the middle of Exodus
year.
and so
We were
at the
trying to
Passover.
connect the dots from Exodus to the gospel story.
Yep. And so we did that very intentionally and consciously, and church had never done anything like that before. And so people walked in, they didn't know, we didn't tell them, we kept it a secret. They walked into round tables instead of rows, and it caught people off guard tremendously, but it ended up being a really good thing. I think people really, really were blessed by it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought we were going to do that this year. They had a number of people who were like, we're so excited for the Tater meal. And I didn't really tell them one way or another what we were doing. I never at any point said we were doing another
For the
Tater
record,
meal.
it would have been just as cool to do
Yeah.
that again and to do
I
that
agree.
like every year.
Yeah.
We thought about that.
We did. But we really sensed kind of this, like, as we're going through John, like we're looking at the character of Jesus, and we're looking at like his works, who he is, what he's doing in the text. And we thought, what would be an equally or more impactful experience? And we did a funeral for Jesus. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts of like, you know, the vibe, the thoughts of why, just, I don't know. Any thoughts on it?
I think Good Friday tends to be, for whatever reason, like a time for artistic expression of some of this stuff. For whatever reason, we just get to think a bit more artistically around this particular event. It's just kind of one of those off the beaten path things to gather around on the Christian calendar. And you've kind of been haunted by this idea for a while now.
Years.
Why don't you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I just, like, I grew up going to church, and like, how do we create new ways, new expressions of things we've heard our whole life? And the cross is such a gift, and it's like, you know, I'll never forget watching The Passion of the Christ the first time, and it stirred in my spirit, my soul, just like the gravity and like the cost of the cross. And I had a newfound, like, I left that movie like shook and like changed as a result of that, of being like, man, like Jesus suffered. Like, because like you hear it since you're a kid, right? You're like, oh, Jesus died on the cross for my sins. You hear these things. And I think just the mind does this thing where it just becomes numb to things it's heard over time, and the gravity and the weight don't stick as much. And obviously, like, I think no one would be like, no, I'm obviously thankful for the cross, but like the Good Friday is this moment where it's like sitting in the, like, the somberness, and I would even propose the grief of Jesus going to the cross is so important, because I said on Friday, but it's like, if we skip the cross, we minimalize the resurrection.
Yeah. Let's be clear. We weren't trying to manufacture
No, not at all.
feeling.
No, but we want to create a space. That's the thing is like, when we began to look at this, we were like, how can we create an experience where people can like have an encounter with God in a new way and see the story and experience the story in a way that they wouldn't typically like come across. And I think the idea of doing the funeral for Jesus was something that is that Jesus died. Like, Jesus actually died. He didn't take a nap. He didn't like sneak away to the tomb. That Jesus died. And if you've ever been to a funeral, which I think most people have, it's like, it's uncomfortable. It's hard. It's like, and I think for us, because we know the ending of the story, we skip the reality for the disciples and Jesus' followers on Friday. It's like they watched their Lord die, and they watched him like go and be put in a tomb, and they're like, this tomb is sealed, and with that sealing is like the future, their future in their minds. You're like, he's gone. And I think this idea of a funeral is like try to create the space where people be like, that was a fear-filled weekend, is what I said on Sunday, of like, now what? What do we do? And create that space where it's like, can people kind of wrap their minds around? So we did 3 different eulogies, really from the perspective of Matthew. I mean, like, Jesus is my Messiah, which is Matthew's main goal of his writings. Mary being the mother of Jesus, and that like she lost her son. And then Peter, who obviously lost his Messiah, but he lost his friend. Like, we see Peter and Jesus, they're like their friendship is on full display in the texts. And I think it's just like, we all have a story. That was what I communicated. We all have a story with the cross. And it's like, have you sat with the weight of the cross and the gift that Jesus going to the cross is?
Which one of those 3 was hardest to write?
Oh my gosh, Mary. Mary was so difficult to write.
Can you tell us why?
Yeah, I have a baby boy, and the idea of like as I wrote it, I'm just like Mary, like, was gifted, right? Like the one that I wrote is like, thank you for choosing me to be your mom. And that like God obviously chose Mary, and we see Jesus be her son, and like she raised him and loved him. And that's like a real thing. It's a real, like, yes, she knew he was the Messiah, but at the same time, it's like, she lived with him and she took care of him and she told stories to him and rocked him. And like that for me was just like a different perspective of like a mother losing her son.
Yeah.
And like, I think that is just like, that is such a weight. Like I can't even fathom that. But even Peter's for me was really hard. It's just like, I've lost friends and like knowing it's like this place where like, what do I do? Like, what is like, that was Peter's whole attitude. Like in the Gospels, we see Peter like, going back to the boats, like he went back to the thing like God called him out of. Like Jesus is like, hey, like I call you a fisherman, but he immediately went back to being a fisherman. And I think there's this posture of like when you lose someone close to you, you're like, what do we do now? Like what is life without this person who I'm close with and love? And yeah, all three were like it was a lot to process and try to be in that place and convey like the relationship and with like staying within biblical bounds. And you know what I'm saying? I like the goal was not to make it this like super dramatic thing. It was like almost all of it was pulled straight from the text. And just so, yeah, that was it.
If you could boil it down into like one sentence statement of like, if you could have just like, if you had the ability to like give someone a takeaway, like something to remember after Good Friday.
Yeah.
What would you say is that nail from that service that you just like would hope people walk away with?
Oh man, I hope people leave being like, Jesus loves me so much he laid down his life for me. Like that would be the goal. Is like it's out of his great love for us that like he took our place. And again, those are words that we've heard. And we're like, he took my place, and you're like, no. Do you understand the significance of this? Like this is a huge thing. And yeah, so the funeral was something that has been on my mind and my heart for years, and I just never was able to bring it to like peace or like I was wrestle with it of like, what does it look like? How do we convey this appropriately while also it being like, you know, not corny or cheesy or over the top.
Right.
So yeah,
We tried.
yeah. It was a great Friday.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So that was great.
Yeah. So how about Easter though? Easter's always great.
Yeah?
I just love Easter.
Yeah.
It's something really special about it. And what was your favorite moment of Easter? What would you say?
The entire Sunday.
Yeah.
Gosh. Man, there's something about a choir. Gets people clapping.
Yeah.
That gets me going.
Yeah.
I feel that vibe.
Yeah.
I love that.
Heck yeah.
Gosh.
I love it.
I don't know. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I don't like about
I agree.
this morning.
Easter special.
All right. That was Sunday.
New segment.
New segment
Brand
time.
new segment. Brand spanking new. Hot
People are loving it though. Hot off the press. People are saying really good things about it.
That's what I
Really
heard.
positive things people are
That's it.
saying. Them.
All
I've
right,
heard them.
cool. We're gonna mix it up this week. We're introducing a new segment in honor of Resurrection Week, and we sang "Shout to the Lord" 2 weeks ago, which is a throwback.
Yeah.
like intentionally.
Yeah.
and we got thinking about it that there's certain things that is like, man, is there something we like? If we slept on something that needs to be brought back,
Bring it back. You
Bring
know when
it
you
back.
say like, bring that back.
Yeah,
That
bring
was
it on
awesome.
back. That's it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna pick a topic, and then we're gonna talk about some of the things that potentially are like great of that time, and then we're gonna choose one thing to bring it back,
Yeah.
to resurrect it.
Yep, and people are saying really good things about this segment. So
Really
here we
good
go.
things, really all positive.
Yep.
All right, so our topic is 90s Christian culture. A lot of
90s
things.
Christian
What comes to
culture?
mind when you hear 90s Christian culture?
Let's just throw some things out there. Bible Man,
We talked about Bible Man,
he and me,
Larry Boy. Obviously, VeggieTales was in its prime.
huge.
I would argue this is the best era of Christian music, not worship music, in my opinion. I think,
Yeah.
like there was a lot of like Christian artists who were writing really good like
DC Talk, let's throw some out there.
Newsboys,
Newsboys.
Audio Adrenaline, Sanctus Real.
We do this for days.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of things going on here.
Oh man, FFH,
I wouldn't.
90s.
They would make my resurrect list.
Are you kidding?
Sorry. Fly away. Ugh. Third Day, I feel like was also that was like there. I was like that was his. That was
Shoot.
it.
Who's the guy who
Steve Curtis Chapman.
before that, early 90s?
Carmen.
No, he he died in a car accident on an Indiana highway. What's his name?
Sean Mark McMillan.
No.
No, he's still alive.
Sean Mark, nope.
John Mark Comer, and he's alive.
Someone's yelling at us right now through the
I'm really sorry.
TV screen.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Forget it.
Is this the How He Loves guy?
No.
Okay.
Never mind.
All right. David Crowder came onto the scene, I feel like, in
The
the
90s?
late 90s, maybe early 2000s.
Okay.
I might be getting timelines blurry. But no, it must have been early 2000s. I don't know. All right. WWJD bracelets.
Yep. Christian bookstores.
Stickers. Yeah, Christian
arriving.
bookstores are great. Remember when you go to the store, like have the headphones, you click it like an album?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember MXPX? Remember them?
Oh, yeah. We saw them live once.
We did.
Yeah.
But they were primetime Christian like store stuff for a while.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. So out of all those things, what is one of the things from
We'd
the
like to
90s?
have back today.
Yeah.
Alive and well.
Yeah. What do you think?
Those WWJD bracelets were pretty cool.
Those are kind of on
Every
the way
once in a
back.
while, we could
Yeah.
use like a reminder.
Well, they did those like frog ones. And they did another one like He Would Love First. They tried to like
Oh,
rebrand.
fully rely on God. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my proposal, and you can argue or disagree. I would like the Newsboys lineup to go back to being Peter Furler as their frontman, Phil Joel to play bass, and the rest of the Duncan Phillips, Jody Davis, whatever their names are, like the lineup from Stepping Right Up to the Microphone.
Okay.
That would be my that should be like, the Newsboys are doing a thing, but like they're. I'm sorry if you like the Newsboys, it's fine, but like I think
Is that possible?
yeah they're all still alive.
Behind the camera, can we get to work on that?
Yeah, who do we call?
Let's
That's
start.
what I propose. If the Newsboys are going to continue to tour, which is already a debated issue,
Yeah.
to bring back the lineup when they were good. That's
Yeah.
my 90s Christian culture opinion.
That's the only solution.
Yeah.
I like that.
Breakfast, Seven Right Up to the Microphone. Yeah, I just think they were far superior in the like late 90s, early 2000s.
I'll buy that.
Great. Resurrect it.
Resurrect it.
Cue
see how that-
icon.
See if we keep that one around. All right, next segment.
Doesn't like any segments. All right, Noah's Ark segment. Here we go.
Classic. Noah's
Loves
Ark.
it. Noah's Ark.
Noah brought two of each
Yep.
onto the Ark. Someone shot me with a good question the other day. It was like, how do you get all the fish under the Ark? Anyway, we have a category that's given to us by the people from behind the camera, and then we keep on rolling.
That's it. All right, what's our topic?
Home cooked meals.
Home cooked
Home-cooked
meals.
meals.
I love that.
Pick two. Home cooked meals.
Cooked meals. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh, please.
That would be a ham roast with your potatoes.
What kind of
and
potatoes?
your vegetables. What kind? Gold? Yukon Gold?
Of course, it's classic.
Your vegetables, your roasted meat. Put that
Okay.
in the oven for, doesn't even matter, days.
All
Your
right.
roast. Just keep on going.
I'm going to say lasagna with no ricotta. That's lasagna hits.
Anti-ricotta.
I'm not a big ricotta guy. The texture freaks me out a little bit. So that sound,
Oh, I see. The slap.
Yeah,
Cheese
yeah,
slap.
cheese slap. No cheese slaps. Lasagna. I think like homemade, like hand rolled noodles. Like you do homemade lasagna, dude. Like you're all right.
Okay.
All right, you're up. Oh no, I go again, don't I?
Yeah. Same
Ooh,
track.
man. Homemade food.
Come on. What did Ma make? Ma.
Oh man. I don't know. Nothing really like glaringly sticks out. She made Dorito chicken, but I'm not gonna say that's my answer. I'm gonna say similar to yours, just different. The better lane is a turkey Thanksgiving meal. Thanksgiving. Like I'm talking turkey. We did dumplings growing up, which are great. Yeah, like mac and cheese, green bean casserole, like that whole meal, homemade. Like, can you even get it anywhere not homemade? Like, there's no place that you can like go in and, I mean, you probably,
Right.
what's that barbecue? Dustin's. You can probably get it at Dustin's. Don't do that. Like, but I'm going to say homemade Thanksgiving.
You have the word that I was going to use. You stole it, and mine is casserole. There's no such thing as a store-bought casserole. You must construct a casserole at home. You can't just
The
go
fact that you use
buy.
the word construct and casserole isn't the best thing you can eat. That's
Oh yeah.
gross.
Oh, best home cooked meal.
Casseroles?
Oh,
What's your
yeah,
favorite
dude.
casserole?
Oh man, you got tater tot.
I'm sorry. Hang on.
Casserole.
Let's rewind this really quick.
Green bean
This is the guy who started
casserole.
this episode by saying you can't hide your eggs and then eat
Shrimp
them. And he's saying you
casserole.
can make a tater tot
Chicken
casserole.
Casserole. Pot pie casserole.
I can't.
Breakfast casserole.
All right. This week we're back in John chapter 6, wrapping chapter 6 up, talking about spirit and the flesh, and that Jesus has given us a way to walk in the spirit. What does that mean?
Can you give us a outlook on the summer? We're gonna do John for
Yep.
4 more weeks,
Yep.
and then
We're going to do a series about the heart, the soul specifically.
we'll be in the summer by then, and we're gonna take a break from John.
Calling it
For the summer.
Uncluttered. It's official. It's out there on the interwebs, so it's called Uncluttered.
It is now.
Yep. And,
Okay.
it's about ordering your spirit. That there's a lot of things that you can see and manage on the outside, but very rarely can we see what's going on in someone's heart, and how do we unclutter the things that are cluttering it.
Nice.
Yeah. I've read a lot of books recently that have really, really given me some mental language, some clarity on it.
Speaking to you.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, we've talked about this series. We almost did this series last summer, and it wasn't cooked. It was like half baked. And now I feel like this year, like in the midst of John, I've been like prepping and reading and praying about like what does this look like? Because I think a lot of people, and for those who don't know, we typically do straight expository teaching through the school year, and then we still do expository teaching in the summer, but it's more find a core passage and sit in that rather than going like book kind of series. And so specifically, I think we're going to be looking at some stuff in the Old Testament, which I'm really excited for. Life of Saul, life of David a little bit, Solomon. So looking at these guys who on the outside had it all, right? And like it's like, oh, he was tall, oh, he was rich, oh, he had wisdom, but these things allowed to creep into their heart and take space and let them make some really unwise decisions. So how do we unclutter our souls? Because I think a lot of people don't pay attention to it until it's too late. I think that's when people are like, whoa, how did I get to this place? And like, how do we pay attention to our souls now to prevent getting to those places? So that's where we're going in the summer.
That'll be a good summer.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks for watching. Let me pray and we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Today, Father, we just want to say thank you for an amazing Easter weekend, God. The gospel went out and people got to praise you and be together in your house, God. What a gift. And we want to say thank you for the new life found available only in Jesus. We pray for our church, God. Keep them safe, keep them healthy. God, thank you for this time of just laughter and conversation, God. And we pray that through this you're glorified. In your son's name, amen. See you next week.
Bye.